Welcome to week number 3 of Spiritual Beginnings. My name is Greg Koslowski. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. And thank you to the Center for Spiritual Living for providing this very comfortable space for us. It's really a great thing that we are doing for ourselves when we take the time to expand our minds and reconnect with ourselves. We all deserve the best in life. We all deserve to be treated with kindness, love, and respect always. It's our birthright. We ourselves are the only thing that stands in the way of this being our truth. There isn't a single person in the universe that can change this fact or allow this birthright to be taken from us, except for ourselves. We always decide how we are going to be treated and how we're going to be spoken to by others. We always decide what is acceptable behavior from others and what is acceptable behavior from ourselves. We always decide what level of respect we are going to be treated with. It's our choice to decide how much love that we are worth receiving, and we're worth a lot. We are the heirs to infinite abundance, and that includes an infinite abundance of unconditional love. So who in this room has ever spoken negatively or thought negative thoughts about themselves? Everybody. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, too tall, too short, my hair is too straight, too curly. Or who in this room has ever just been completely unkind to themselves or even hateful? All right, a few of you. Have you ever been walking next to someone and all of a sudden they trip and fall? How did you react? Did you call them an idiot? Did you look around and say, "You jerk, hurry up, get up before someone sees you"? Or, "How embarrassing that was. You must feel terrible about yourself right now." Or, "Oh my God, you are such a jerk for falling like that"? Probably not. I bet you extended your hand and you said something like, "Are you okay? Can I help you? Don't worry, there's no reason to feel bad or embarrassed. Besides, nobody saw you anyway." And then you probably made sure that they were okay before you left them. So let me ask the question. Why, when we ourselves fall, is our reaction totally different? We most likely look around in embarrassment, hoping that nobody saw us. We usually say, "Oh, I'm such an idiot." And if we're injured or bleeding, we try to hide it or make light of it. Last year, I took a trip out west to see all of the national parks. One day, I found myself in a tire tube cruising down a volcanically created river in the hot springs of Idaho. There were rapids and approximately 3 to 4 foot waterfalls in various parts of this river. And the way it was laid out, everywhere there was a waterfall, there was a viewing area for the pedestrians to watch the misfortunes of the people who are wiping out going over the falls. Isn't that nice? So it was my turn. I was going down the river, and I was hanging out with a group of people, and we were shooting water pistols at each other and laughing and carrying on going down the river. So it was my turn to go over one of the falls. And it was about a 3-foot waterfall, but really gushing pretty hard. So I positioned myself correctly, put my feet before me, because you certainly don't want to go down a waterfall like that backwards. So I positioned my feet in front of me, and I got myself lined up, and sure enough, I went down that waterfall perfectly. Well, what I didn't expect to happen was the backflow of water from the waterfall. It was actually pushing me back into the waterfall backwards. And the water pounded down on the back of my tire tube, causing me to flip backwards into the falls, head first, and I completely did a backflip. My head hit the bottom of the river, which was jagged lava rock. I was disoriented. I banged my head really hard. And when I finally made my way back to the surface, blood was pouring out of the back of my head and my neck. And people were rushing over, and they're saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I made light of it. Of course, I almost just died. And I'm saying, "No, no, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's nothing. Just a little scratch." I probably should have gone to the hospital. You know when you get hit really hard in the head and you get that funny taste in your mouth? I think they call it a concussion. So that happened, and I was so embarrassed. People were trying to come over and help me, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 I'm fine," and I'm laughing, and inside I'm saying, "Oh my God, you're such an idiot. You're such an ass. I can't believe you did that. Oh my God." And I was so embarrassed and hateful towards myself. Here I am, really injured, and just beating myself up on top of it. So what I did is I kind of went down the river a little bit further, and everybody was turning around, making sure I was okay. And as soon as they went around the corner, I cut off and got off the river. So I never went down to the exit point, which was really kind of cruel to them. If they were concerned about me, they wouldn't have seen me come around the corner, so they'd never know what happened to me. So that was really kind of dumb. So here I am, making my way through the woods back up to the street, blood pouring out of my head, trying to hide it so nobody saw that I was hurt. And I made it back to the car, and it was really, really a bad scene. And I was so cruel to myself. So why do we continue to do this stuff to ourselves? Why do we treat ourselves as anything less than amazingly perfect? We are doing ourselves a terrible injustice when we do this stuff to ourselves. And we are also setting the standard for what we are allowing to be acceptable behavior from others. We need to give love and be ready to freely accept love as well. It's okay to say, "I'm hurt. I do need help. And I'm really grateful that you're here to help me and show compassion for me during this difficult moment." We should all be able to do that. Let's think about this for a minute. Where and at what part in your life did anything less than love and kindness become acceptable to you? When were you not as kind and loving to yourself as you should have been? When I think about my life, I see it everywhere, all throughout my life. I remember as a child being called fat. I allowed this to become my truth, and I carried it with me my entire life. Whether I was in a thinner stage of my life or a heavier stage of my life, I was always fat in my mind. Nobody made me accept that as my reality, but I did. When I look back at my entire life, I can clearly see that my life experience would have been so much more self-love if I hadn't made being fat my belief and my reality. I allowed that single belief to echo through my entire life. Did someone force that belief on me, or did I choose to willingly accept it as my reality? Interestingly, kids also made jokes about me being so tall. "Hey, Big Bird," or "Jolly Green Giant, how's the air up there?" The list went on and on. However, in this situation, I made the choice to be perfectly tall. I didn't allow my height to become a negative physical trait. Therefore, I carried with me through my life love, joy, and a sense of pride in the fact that I was tall. It wasn't a negative thing to me. It was a positive thing, even though I was being negatively teased about it. In this situation, as we do in every situation, I decided how I was going to feel about my height. I could have very easily decided to go through life feeling imperfect about my height, like I did about my weight. Nobody gets to make the decision on how we feel about ourselves but us. I also remember being told that I was lazy. I napped all of the time as a child. There was one time when we were having our septic system replaced, and the whole yard was torn up, mounds and mounds of dirt, and just everything just torn up. And there was dump trucks, and there were bulldozers, and all big, heavy equipment. And one afternoon, I was found sound asleep on the back of a dump truck. Wherever I was, I could fall asleep in an instant. Considering the fact that I was 7 inches taller than every other kid my age, just might have had a little something to do with me being tired all the time. My body was working overtime in the growth department. So I carried with me my entire life the fact that I was a lazy person. Even with all of my successes or accomplishments, at least what I thought were successes or accomplishments throughout my life, even with all of those, I still felt that I would have done more if I just wasn't lazy. How sad is that? How sad is the fact that I allowed me being a lazy person to become an acceptable reality and belief in my life? Why do we do these things to ourselves? Why do we make it acceptable to think of ourselves as anything less than absolutely perfect? What an insult to the source of our creation. It's like going to a proud artist and saying that the thing that they just created is loaded with flaws. We are perfect in every way. If we think that we are anything less than absolute perfection, then that's a decision that we made and a thought that we allowed. Let's all do some soul searching and review our own lives. Let's find the times that we allowed these negative beliefs to become our realities. Let's locate or determine the days that we said it was okay to make us believe that we were not perfect creations. Let's think about the times that we showed ourselves anything less than unconditional love. And then, let's all make a commitment here and now that this kind of negative behavior towards ourselves stops right now. We are perfect in every way. We are exactly the beautiful people that we are supposed to be. So we have several new faces here this week. Out of the first-timers here tonight, who has meditated before? Okay, a few of you. Who meditates, out of those people, who meditates on a regular basis? Okay. So the benefits of meditation are incredible and life-changing, and that's a guarantee. Who would have thought that sitting there being lazy and just clearing our minds could have such a positive impact on our lives? When we take the time to quiet our minds, the benefits to our bodies and minds is immense. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. The more that you do it, the easier it becomes. So for the next part of our evening, we're going to do what is called a guided meditation. And the idea is to calm your body and mind and then go on a journey of self-love. I'm using the same theme in the meditations for good reason. Repetition in a method of meditation helps you to get into the meditation more effectively and quicker. So you are basically training your mind to quiet itself more efficiently. So you need to use your imagination. Some people can visualize better than others, so don't think that you are doing it wrong if your mind wanders. Just acknowledge that it wandered and then bring it back to my voice. And by all means, be kind to yourself. You're doing a great thing for yourself just by being here tonight. If you're unable to follow along, just enjoy the relaxing sounds and the quieting of your mind. I'm also putting these meditations on YouTube as well, so you can view them at home whenever you want. And you can just go to youtube.com and put in my name, Greg Koslowski, and you'll see the YouTube videos. So we're going to go ahead and begin the meditation. And while I'm getting the music ready, breathing is really, really important. So in the beginning, when I say that you need to take 15 deep breaths, I want you to do it on your own, but I want you to do it. I really want you to follow it because your experience is going to be totally different if you get the oxygen into your brain and into your body before you go into the meditation. So when I say deep breaths, I want you to go and I want you to do 15 of them. And then once you're done with the 15 breaths, go back to your normal breathing, but conscious breathing. And then just listen to the sounds and listen to my voice. So go ahead and begin your 15 breaths now. Deep breaths in and out. And when you're done with the 15, go back to normal breaths. Let's go ahead and close our eyes and get comfortable. I want you to imagine that you're sitting on the most beautiful beach. The sand is so soft that it looks and feels like powdered sugar. The air is so crisp, it smells so pure and so clean. The temperature is absolutely perfect. Not too hot, not too cool. And the gentle breeze moves effortlessly over your skin as the sun warms your face and your body. It's the most perfect day in every way. The birds are singing as they fly by. You have this entire beautiful beach all to yourself. When you look out to the ocean, instead of seeing waves of water, you see waves of the most purest light that you've ever seen. These beautiful waves of light are so captivating and comforting that you can't stop taking in their tranquil beauty. You watch as these waves of light come closer and closer to you each time they reach the shore. Eventually they come right up to your toes and just completely cover them. The waves of light have such a warm, comforting feeling. Your toes become completely relaxed as the waves of light retreat back to the ocean. And another wave comes in and covers your feet and halfway up your legs. Now your legs and your feet and your toes become completely relaxed by these beautiful, calming waves of light. It's just the most perfect day and the most incredibly relaxing experience that you've ever had. Another wave of light comes in, and now it covers half of your body. As the wave goes back out to the ocean, it leaves the entire lower half of your body completely relaxed, taking away all the stress and any soreness with it. how another wave comes in and gently covers your entire body, relaxing every inch of your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Your body has never felt so good and so relaxed. And you just take a few moments to enjoy this incredible feeling. You're comforted by the fact of knowing that this is your special beach, and you can come here whenever you want and take some time for yourself to just relax. In this deeply relaxed state, you look down the beach and you see this beautiful, lush, tropical forest. It looks so peaceful, with the sun shining and the waves of light caressing the shore next to it. You decide to take a closer look and explore this peaceful forest. As you approach the forest, you can hear the birds singing, and you can smell the incredible fragrance of the flowers that permeate the air. You notice a stone path that goes into the forest. You decide to take a walk. As you walk down the path, you see flowers everywhere. The sun shining through the trees, and the light dances on every flower and every green leaf. In the center of the forest, you see a beautiful garden bursting with flowers of every color. Even some colors that you've never seen before. It's such an incredible sight. In the middle of the garden is the most spectacular fountain that you've ever seen. Except this is no ordinary fountain. It's a fountain of the most pristine light. It's an incredible ice blue light, and it's so calming to look at as it flows like water. This is your very own healing fountain. Whatever this light touches has no choice other than to be healed. You touch the light with your hands, and immediately your body begins to tingle. You can feel the warm, healing energy from the light go into every cell of your body. It's the most amazing feeling that you've ever experienced. As you stand next to the fountain enjoying this feeling, the story of your life begins to appear on the garden floor. Each part of your life represented by a beautiful flower. The flowers begin to form a beautiful circle around you, creating a timeline of your life. It goes back as far as you can remember, and even farther than that. When you look closely at the flowers in the timeline of your life, you can see all of the details of that time in your life play out like a movie on the petals of the flower. What an incredible experience to see this complete review of your life. Among the beautiful flowers, you begin to see big, ugly, dark weeds appear. Each weed representing a time when you were not being kind to yourself, or someone was not being kind to you. Maybe it was that time in your life when you had a huge event to attend. When you were putting on your clothes, maybe you pointed out that you should have lost a few more pounds. Maybe you even called yourself fat. You felt self-conscious all day, and you didn't enjoy the event as much as you could have. Or maybe the weed represents a time when you felt embarrassed and you weren't loving and supportive of yourself. This is your garden and your life's timeline, so whatever needs to appear here for you will appear. You reach down and you pull that weed out of your garden and you say, I'm sorry that I ever allowed you to take root in my garden and to negatively affect the beauty in my life. I know that this is always my choice to decide what I allow to grow in my garden. From this day forward, I will no longer allow ugly weeds to root negativity in my life. I deserve to have unconditional love for myself, and nothing less is acceptable. You place the weed into your healing fountain of light, and it melts away, leaving you with a feeling of unconditional love for yourself that you have never felt before. All attachments to that negative belief from your past dissolve into the ether of time. This is your garden and your healing fountain, so anything that you can imagine must appear here if you wish. Now you look for the next ugly dark weed. Maybe it's a time when you stayed in an abusive relationship, one that left you feeling less than perfect. Or maybe it was a time that somebody said hurtful things to you, and you allowed those seeds to take root in your garden. You reach down and you pull that weed out of your garden, and you say, I'm sorry that I ever allowed you to take root in my garden and to negatively affect the beauty in my life. I know that this is always my choice to decide what I allow to grow in my garden. From this day forward, I will no longer allow ugly weeds to root negativity in my life. I deserve to have unconditional love for myself, and nothing less is acceptable. You place the weed into your healing fountain of light, and it melts away, leaving you with an even stronger feeling of unconditional love for yourself that you have never felt before. And all the attachments to that negative belief from your past dissolve into the ether of time. Now take a few minutes on your own and continue to pull those weeds from your life's garden. You could have many weeds or only a few. This is your garden, your healing fountain of self-love, so it's whatever you want or need. And remember, you can come to this place whenever you want and as often as you like. So take a few minutes on your own. finish up for now, remember you can take this journey on your own whenever you'd like and however often. Now you reach down into the healing fountain of light and you fill your arms with as much light as you can hold. And in your newfound sense of self-love, you become light as a feather and you begin to lift off of the ground like a helium balloon, holding your armful of light. You rise above the garden and above the forest. You float above the clouds and out into the earth's atmosphere. You rise so far that you can see the entire earth. The earth looks like a big blue marble from here. From here it looks so peaceful and beautiful, the way that it was truly meant to be. You open your arms and pour the light down onto the earth, and you watch it as it completely envelops the entire planet. You cover the entire earth with the healing light of self-love, enabling all people to learn to love themselves and others, and to bring peace and joy and spread love. It's such an incredible sight to see the earth surrounded by this beautiful healing light. You take one last look at this beautiful sight, and you begin to float back towards the earth, as light as a feather. You begin to see the entire state as you gently float down. You float through the white puffy clouds, and you begin to see your beautiful beach and forest. You float through the forest treetops and into the garden. And you gently touch down next to your healing fountain of light. You take one last look around for now at your beautiful garden. If there are more weeds, you know that you can come here as often as you like to take care of your garden and remove those dark weeds, and to stop new weeds from taking root. This is your fountain, your garden, your forest, and your beach. You begin to walk on the stone path back towards the beach. You now have this incredible feeling of self-love and a strong belief that you are perfect in every way. With every step that you take towards the beach, you begin to become more and more present, with an incredible feeling of joy, peace, calmness, and feeling so much lighter. You begin to return to this room and become more and more aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, you open your eyes with a new, renewed feeling of inner peace and happiness and love. And you can stretch and move and get the blood flowing again. How does everyone feel? Good? Good. Great. I wrote an affirmation that you can repeat to yourselves throughout the week. It's on the back table. You can take a picture of it if you'd like with your phone. I am pure perfection, created by pure perfection. Remember, a belief is just a thought that we keep repeating. So starting tonight, why not have a belief that we are perfect and deserve nothing less than love and respect always? I hope that you all take something positive away from this experience tonight. I know that I have. I'm grateful for having this comfortable space that the Center for Spiritual Living has provided for us. I will hopefully see you all next week, next Tuesday night. Bring friends if you'd like. The more people we have, the more we can positively impact. And the more beautiful life will be for everyone. Thank you again for coming out tonight, and namaste.